Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am back today. Gosh, it's been a while. I think like 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. For those of you that don't know or haven't been following along, I recently went back home to Indiana, which is where I'm from. I lived there for 42 years before I relocated here to California to be with Greg. So, most recently, at the end of January, my older sister was diagnosed with stage 3 multiple myeloma, which is a kind of blood slash bone cancer because it affects your bones greatly. For those that don't know, back in 2016, I fractured my pelvis just suddenly out of the blue, and I was diagnosed with what they call MGUS, which is like smoldering or pre-multiple myeloma. So this year, when my sister fractured her back and her sternum, we found out that she, of course, has stage 3 multiple myeloma. And it is in, gosh, I haven't updated for a long time. It is in 90% of her bones. Her bones basically have these lesions or holes in them. So it makes her very susceptible to more fractures. And so I went back home. I was with her, my younger sister and I. There are 3 of us sisters all together. My older sister is 53, Terry, and she's the one that has multiple myeloma. I am 52, and then our younger sister is 50. And then we have a younger brother who is, let's see, I'm 52, so he's 46. But my sisters and I have always been extremely close. They're like my best friends. We talk a lot on the phone. They've been out to California to visit me. They came and took care of me when I had my knee replacement surgeries. And not that our brother is not close, he is, but a sisterly bond is kind of different. I think we kind of drive my brother crazy a little bit. He doesn't know how to handle our kind of crazy, I guess. But since my mom passed away in 2022, let's see, she's been gone 2.5 years, we've gotten even closer. And before, even though my dad was in our lives, he and I never really had a relationship, basically. And that's just a whole bunch of, just family history and such. But, so, I was with us 3 girls were all together. When we first got the information that she possibly had the multiple myeloma, we were on the phone with her through FaceTime, and we went to that doctor's appointment. They included us very much so in the appointment. And then I flew home on January 28th, and on January 30th, she got her official diagnosis, and we got to be there in person with her. So I wanted to stay home. You never know how long to stay, or, that kind of thing. I had pushed all my doctor's appointments back, and I'm gonna do most of those in the next coming weeks. But I ended up staying 3 weeks with her, and was able to get up, set like a meal train up, set up a GoFundMe, and then also a Caringbridge, which, if you don't know what Caringbridge is, it is a website, like an app that you can get, and me and my sisters can update on it and just kind of give everybody one place to go, so we only have to update people once instead of everyone texting, calling, emailing about and having to update everyone. It makes it much easier on the family. It, to me, is kind of like a journal for this whole new chapter that we're all on. And yeah, so I came home. I flew home last night. Got in about 8 o'clock. It's a very, very long, exhausting travel day. I'm in the air about 6 hours. This is the first time that I flew out with my dog, Annie. And so that went really well. We took her to the vet before we went. They gave her anxiety medicine, some trazodone to help sedate her. And so that went really well. When we changed planes, both on the way there and on the way home, when we change planes and we go for that last leg of our trip, she's usually awake and kind of not really wanting to be in her carrier any longer. But it's a requirement that she has to stay in that. So that's a little stressful, trying to keep her calm and in that carrier. So, and then I also wanted to be there with my sister. She had surgery to have a port placed. And this is where things, she got, my sister had kind of went downhill very quickly. When we brought her in to get her port placed, her oxygen level was at 82%. For those of you that don't know, 100% is where they want you to be, but 95 to 100 is okay. Hers was at 82. They went ahead and placed her port. After surgery, she came out, and her oxygen level was like at 80. So they put her on like 3 liters of oxygen. Their goal was to get her onto room air at 95% and above. And I'm new to this, so I didn't know all this stuff. I knew some of it. I knew that her oxygen level should not be in the 80s. So they finally got her on some room air and just kept telling her to take deep breaths until they got her up to like 90. And then they let her go home. And I knew it wasn't right. I knew but I thought they knew what they were doing. And so later that night, I called my sister, my little sister, who is a ER nurse, a retired ER nurse, and explained to her what was going on, and that my older sister was like shaking so bad, like she couldn't type on her phone, and she just kept falling asleep. And I explained to her about her oxygen level, and she said, "Ginge, I don't like that. I don't like." And I said, "I know. I'm sorry. I thought they knew what they were doing. I should have spoke up, I guess." The next day, my sister was on the phone with oncology. They asked us to bring her right up. My little sister, who was, coordinating on the phone with the nurse navigator, was in Tennessee at the time. So when we went up to oncology, they immediately sent her to the ER, and she ended up spending 3 or 4 days in the hospital. And we almost lost her before any of the treatment even began. I felt very responsible because I knew that what they were doing wasn't right, but I thought they knew what they were doing. And so we ended up that they ended up having to give her 2 liters of blood, I think, a blood transfusion, and they gave her Zometa, which is a bone strengthening medicine. It also puts calcium back into your bones. Her body was very low on calcium, which was why she was shaking. Probably on day 3, I think, after she got her blood, she was a different person, night and day. When you see someone that is so close to death, and then you come in one morning and they are sitting up and talking and laughing and going to the bathroom and wants a bed bath, and so, but that was a very scary thing. My little sister, her boyfriend paid for us, thank goodness, to stay in a hotel near the hospital so that we could be there if things really went downhill. And then after she got out of the hospital on like I think it was day 4, we stayed with my son who lives in Greenwood. My sister's doctors are in Franklin, and so that was just a blessing. We stayed there for 5 days until we for the first week of treatment. When I took her to the hospital and she was having all that trouble, they weren't even going to be able to start treatment, and it's very important for her to start treatment ASAP, because she is stage 3, and in multiple myeloma there are only 3 stages: stage 1, stage 2, and then the worst stage, which is stage 3. So we started her first week of chemo, and actually that she takes a lot of chemo orally, by pill form, and then we take her on Tuesdays and Fridays to get shots, 2 chemo shots. So I went with her for 2 weeks of treatment, and she's looking so much better. Things are still very touch and go because each time she gets the shots, of course, there are side effects and reactions, and she'll spike a temperature, and if that gets to be a certain number, then she has to be taken into the hospital. It's a lot. There's a lot you have to learn very quickly, and finally I just had to come home for a little while. I needed to decompress and recharge. I needed to be with my person, Greg. But it was very, very hard to leave. It's hard to know the right time to leave, because things are such touch and go. We had the best, even though it was the scariest time, we had the best time. We shared a lot of laughs. My daughter came and stayed with me at the motel one night, and we had so much fun. My daughter and I's relationship has been strained lately, as we talk about some of the trauma that I exposed her to and am probably the cause of from when I was actively drinking, as I'm a recovering alcoholic. I spent 5 nights with my son and his fiance, So that was wonderful. I got to spend some really quality time with my kids. I got to see my grandbabies. My granddaughter put makeup on me, and we shared a lot. It was a lot of fun. I feel like I did a lot of my dad and I did a lot of talking and repairing our relationship. So that's kind of where we are. I think this is either week 2 or week 3 of her treatments. I think it's week 3. No, it's week 2. This is. I went through 1 week of treatment with her, and so my goal is to be able to go back in maybe a month or 2. I want to be there as much as I can, but then I also have to take care of my health and go to my doctor's appointments. My doctors were really good. I was able to use my Medicare and get my prescriptions in Indiana because I'm on some controlled medications. I could not have them transferred, or one doctor I talked to over the phone from California, she was filling in for my doctor, refused to speak to me because she's not licensed to treat anyone out of California. But I am a California resident. I was on an emergency. I wasn't living in Indiana. I'm a California resident. And but she refused to talk to me or help me with my anxiety. But my doctor called me back. I was able to continue therapy online while I was in Indiana. And then my heart doctor called. I'd recently just done a Holter monitor testing for I think 2 weeks, and he had those results, and he wasn't very happy with them. So I have a blood pressure cuff. I have to take a week of blood pressures and send those to him, which I was supposed to be doing it the past couple weeks, but things were just I was consumed with taking care of my sister, spending time with my family. So hopefully this week I can get those blood pressures taken. I'm glad to be home, but it was the hardest thing, leaving my family and leaving my sister in that condition. We have started a GoFundMe. I'll try and leave that link down below, because we're, taking my sister to treatment. She can't work right now, so we're paying her bills. It's, it costs a lot. We try to get her anything that she wants to eat, because eating is hard right now. And I don't want her to lose too much weight. So, food gift cards, gas gift cards, we're accepting anything at this point. I will link the Caringbridge down below, as well as the GoFundMe. Don't feel obligated to give. I know you all don't know my sister. But any little bit helps. I came home to decompress and to, recharge emotionally. It is exhausting. I've never been in the caregiver position, so to speak. Greg takes care of me a lot because I'm the one with all the medical issues. So I felt a great sense of guilt that my sister has this when I have the smoldering multiple myeloma, and I feel like it should have been me. But for her to, she had a CAT scan in October, and it showed nothing. And then 3 months later, in January, she had another CAT scan and a PET scan, and it's everywhere. The cancer is everywhere. It's affected 90% of her bones. So, they are hopeful that they'll get her in remission. They are meeting at the end of February with a stem cell transplant doctor. And because of her age and stuff, they're hoping that she will be a good candidate for that. But definitely when she has her stem cell transplant, I want to be able to go home. Money is extremely tight. Flights home are extremely expensive. I just buy one way there, and then when I've stayed and feel like I need to come home, then I buy a one way back. But, you know, we're low income. I live on disability. You know, we get housing assistance. I get food stamps because I don't make enough on my Social Security disability. You know, so the GoFundMe, and I also have Venmo and Cash App and PayPal. If you'd rather not go through the GoFundMe, I will need help with transportation back and forth. And that's my hope, is that I can travel back and forth as much as I can, and take care of my health. I go home for 3 weeks or a month or whatever, and it puts a great strain on my relationship with Greg. So I just wanted to update everyone. I'm looking forward to getting back into crafting and planning, and I got myself some adult coloring books, so hopefully I can just kind of unwind and take care of myself a little bit right now. But please keep me and my family, our kids, in your prayers. Again, I will share the Caringbridge link so that you can follow along with my sister's journey. Her name is Terry Miller, and I'll try and share my Cash App and the GoFundMe and my Venmo and my PayPal. We've never had to ask for help, so it's not something I'm comfortable with, or that I'd ever have to do. So, and don't let my tears encourage you one way or the other. It's just very hard right now, and even if I don't get any, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out so I can go home. And we're hoping Greg can build up some vacation time so he can at least come home for, a week at least. But flying 2 of us home is, of course, a lot more expensive. But I hope to be sharing. I have a lot of packages, a lot of mail to go through, a lot of videos to make. When I'm right in the right headspace. But I will share, like I said, the Caringbridge, the Cash App, the Venmo, just all of it. Don't feel obligated at all. If you want to send my sister or me or my family a card or a gift card, I can give you addresses. I'll leave my email down below, or you can contact me on Instagram. Over on Instagram, I am Gingersplanscraftsbeauty as well, so you can find me that way. But yeah, I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I hope to be back soon with another crafty planner or beauty video.